Hello, everyone, and welcome to Drilling Deeper at mining.com.au. I'm Oriel Morrison. Very excited to say that joining me today is the chairman of Provenance Gold, Rauno Perttu. Rauno, welcome. It's wonderful to have you with us today.
Thank you. I am delighted to be here because we're excited about our project and we need to get people to understand just what we have, which is impressive.
Well, that's exactly what we want to do. So you've got some really exciting assay results to share with us from your Eldorado Gold Project. So do you want to take us through what you found?
Actually, let's step back a bit into the historic perspective. We started by drilling an area that we call our discovery area, which was actually discovered by placer miners way back in the 1870s and then discovered by geologists in the 1980s and 90s. And all the work has focused on that area because that's where the outcrops was. But what we have recognized in our work is that the system is much, much bigger than just that first area. And to that end, by the way, one of the reasons we started this project was because ICANN, way back 1990 era, made an estimate of 2 million ounces, non-compliant pre-43-101 regs, all that, in that area. And we came in and we drilled and we found out that not only were we confirming the data from that time period, we were improving on it because of modern technology, better drilling and going deeper. So anyway, long story short, we started off this year by expanding what we had been drilling in the last 2 years before that around the discovery area. We kept finding gold, and not all of it is the spectacular, newsworthy high grade, but most of it is good bulk tonnage, open pit type gold in thick layers and in grades and recoverabilities that to me are quite impressive. So anyway, we started stepping out after we infilled that first area, and we went to an area to the west called Area 4, which is about 550 meters away to the west. And that's the start of it. It goes west from there. And we found mineralization in between. We came south to the Herman area. The Herman area is an area that is due south of the discovery area, about 800 meters. And we were impressed with the mineralization. Historically, we got indication there's mineralization there, but nothing like what we found. And we confirmed that historic. And then we said, all the data that we have it shows that this mineralization is going to go to the south. It's spreading out and go significantly to the south. And so our last core hole, or I should say, a core hole is still coming on assays. I should say our last RC hole that we drilled down in that area came up with these spectacular results. And we ended in mineralization, and it was directed away from our Area 1. So we were going out even further than what the surface indication showed. Anyway, what this does for us right now is it starts confirming what we have recognized from a lot of different sources I don't need to get into, including historic and mapping and geophysics, that this gold system is going out across a shallow valley in here. The valley, by the way, is uninhabited except for a few cows here and there in sagebrush. But we found that the mineralization appears to be growing in strength from several different aspects. First of all, there are historic mine areas that were placer mined, and the gold was derived from local placer operations as much as 2 or 3 kilometers to the south. Ditto on the west side, and we have now chased the mineralization into that area. Our geophysics shows that there are for instance, potassium signatures, which are associated with the gold that are strengthening southward. All indications, to make a long story short, the mineralization is wide open. We have found a new high-grade structure, and I have rarely seen a mineralization that goes for as much as this did. in our terms, 565 feet, switch that to meters, that is ore grade, and not just ore grade. It averaged an ounce, or I should say, a gram and a half. And a gram and a half compared to the normal open pit mine today, which is a half a gram or less, is pretty
Wow.
darn good.
Wow.
Strip ratios I don't even have strip ratios in the normal sense, because the entire interval ran a gram and a half from the
Mm.
surface. That's a good thing. Our metallurgy shows very good recoveries, and that conforms to what the historic people did and what the mining operations way back 100 years ago on our other property, Eldorado East, in the same geology showed. So what we have is a system. It has strong mineralization. It's wide open. We are finding very strong mineralization outside of ICANN's original 2 million ounce estimate. And I am absolutely delighted because I can see that we're going to expand this for kilometers, not just meters. It's really impressive.
It's interesting, Rauno, when you look at you've talked about history a little bit today, but why was this area, do you believe, previously overlooked, and what made you so confident that you were actually going to find something here?
Oh, well, the reason it was overlooked, I actually found one of the geologists who drilled this thing back in the 1980s. He was still around and retired, of course. And he said that they thought it was a porphyry cap on the diorite body up in that discovery area. They had no idea that it extended like this thing. And what we've recognized right off the bat is that the diorite body peaks out here and there. It has the host rock sediments that have been metamorphosed that cap it in places, but it goes for kilometers, not just that little area that they started in. The other
Right.
is that there's absolutely no outcrop in the area where we've been drilling. It's a valley, and the bedrock is shallow. It's down a meter or two, but it's covered by colluvium, just everywhere. We have had a geologist going out there trying to find outcrops. They'll find one here and there, maybe, and they're guessing this might be an outcrop because it looks like it could be, but they can't be sure.
Mm. Mm.
So that's why it just wasn't recognized until we came along.
So with this new high grade zone in the southernmost area, what do you expect this feeder system is actually going to look like once you have all of the results and you finish drilling the area?
Oh, well, I think what we are starting to do is develop a lot of bulk tonnage that's very attractive. These high grade spots are feeder zones. I've actually had a background in geothermal way back when, and I'm familiar with how those geothermal cells work, which are the depositing mechanisms for these kinds of gold deposits. And I expect to find high grade areas that are spaced out here and there somewhat regularly in a fashion across our property and probably across our Eldorado East as well. And one of the important things on that is that these geothermal cells can create volumes of high grade. If you just arm waved our first discovery area, I can do these block models that are not accepted by anybody, but they give you an idea of how much gold there is in that area, of multi-gram over several 100,000 ounces in that area. I mean, it's an
Wow.
impressive pocket of high grade. And then you get away from that and you've got these packages of half gram, sometimes a little higher grade. Sometimes you get pockets of high grade in the middle of it that connect to these to the high grade feeder structures. So the long story short, again, the original discovery area was fairly small. What we have now shown is that the system remains strong across Eldorado West. We think from historic data and everything that we've seen that Eldorado East, which is another large piece of property that we have in the same diorite complex, is going to repeat that performance. So the company is just beginning to see the size of this thing. We know it's going to grow. We know it's going to grow. I have absolutely no doubt.
So where are you in terms of permitting then, for Eldorado West and Eldorado East for next year, for 2026?
We are actually, we have submitted some permit applications. The permit applications for drilling right now are taking about 3 months with the state regulatory agency, Dogami. And what I've just instructed them in the last couple of days is to expand our original application, probably end up being 2 or 3 separate applications to cover the area, because I want to drill as far as a couple of kilometers south from our current drilling, because all indications are we're going to be happy about it. And Eldorado East permit is in. We don't plan to start that drilling until your summer, our winter, in probably March, April, because it's a higher elevation by a couple thousand feet than our Eldorado West initial discovery area. And we want to follow up as soon as we can in the spring, summer. Eldorado West, we can start probably March to expand. And we should have our permits in place at the same time.
So what can we expect in terms of a timeline from here on out? Because obviously drilling is still ongoing elsewhere in the Eldorado area. What's the timeline? What does the timeline look like in terms of your next set of results, etc.?
We have 7 holes right now that we haven't gotten the assays back on. 3 of them are our core holes. And we expect those to come back over the next very few weeks. We also are doing more metallurgy testing on this. We've done some additional geophysics that works, and we're getting the final results on that in the next few weeks. So we're going to have a news flow right across the winter. We are also expecting to have more news on our current drilling right now over the next month. We're going to do some bulk testing, so that will take another 3 weeks or so beyond our original assays. We'll have news across the winter, and it'll be a very active winter.
Incredible. We very much look forward to chatting again soon, Rauno. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing this exciting news.
Thank you. And somehow we have to get people to recognize we have a major system. And for some reason, we haven't been given that credit yet. We need that credit because it's going to continue to grow.
Well, we're looking forward to talking more over the winter months in your part of the world. Rauno, thank you again.